Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Indian Captains. Yes, you must be thinking, where was I? Yes, I'm back with another video. My name is Shoaib, and I'm here to give you some exciting aviation content and to make it easy for your journey as a pilot. So, if you've already seen our title of this video, it goes by ELP or English Language Proficiency. And what is ELP? What is the test all about? The validity, where you can take the test, and what does that mean for a pilot. Is it important? Is it required for your jobs? And what is the test all about in India? All about in this video, so stay tuned. So let's get to understand why we're giving this test. First and foremost, you need to understand the global language used by all aviators is English. This was decided long back in a convention where the idea was to keep it uniform all across the globe to avoid accidents. This is purely done to make sure that your communications between a controller and a pilot is satisfactory, and the decisions that you make in real time is not affected in any means. So with that being said, English is a very important language that you need to understand, but with also that comes the level of responsibility and the level of understanding of the language, hence the ELP test. So your ELP is an exam conducted by the respective organizations, that is your civil aviation organizations, with some partner academies or institutions. In India, we have three institutes that are currently conducting the exams. One is Aviacons in Hyderabad, second one is also from Hyderabad called Flight and third one is a facility by Indigo. So these are the organizations that are conducting, and this was the recent or rather 2 years ago an update on who can conduct the exams and what are the necessities of the examinations. So this is with regards to ELP, but overall what you need to understand is that this is an exam to just test your proficiency in English and nothing else. So let's get straight into understanding what the test is all about in India with regards to ELP. So your ELP test is divided into three parts: part 1, part 2 and part 3. So your first one in part 1, so basically if once you go into the exam center, you have an examiner sitting right in front of you, and then you have two raters which test for your English and also for your aviation knowledge a bit. So there are two raters there, and there's an examiner right in front of you. So all the test is completely oral based and something that you need to comprehend and speak. So first and foremost, you need to first make sure you're calm and composed, and you're just confident about speaking your language well. So the first part in your exam is where you are being asked about to explain about yourself, a little bit about the aviation topics. How has been your aviation journey and what are you doing right now. So just to know about you would be the part 1. So this is again going to be an oral or rather a communication in both the ways. And when we move on to part 2, your part 2 is broken down into 4 subparts. So that's 2A, 2B, 2C and 2D. So these 4 subparts are a little different, so you need to pay attention. So your part 2A is where you have 6 recordings. So these are what recorded communications that are played by a device. So they play one by one. So once the device plays the oral or the audio, what you need to do is you need to comprehend, understand, and then the question would be first need to explain what the thing is. So you can either read that back or explain in your normal English words and then say who said it. So for example, if it's an instruction by the ATC and you understand it's an instruction by ATC, you would say the ATC controller has said it. So that's your part A of the second part, wherein you will be given 6 audio recordings. Moving on to part 2B, So here we have 4 recordings, but these are little long transmissions. We're talking about 15 to 20 seconds. So the examiner will give you a pen and paper where you can take notes of the audio that you listen to. You need to make short notes and then read that back. So that's basically your part 2B. That's 4 audio recordings. So that's 6 plus 4, totally 10 recordings done. Moving on to part C, we have 3 recordings. So what are these 3 recordings all about? So there will be a statement said, and your duty is to ask questions. So when a question an audio is being played from the system, you need to first understand what the statement is, and then you need to ask questions. And what are the questions? Like, you need to understand what the scenario is. For example, let's say there's fire in the cabin, so then you're going to throw questions at the examiner saying, where is it happening, how bad it is there a lot of smoke in the cabin, so on and so forth. So you're going to throw questions at the examiner, and after that the examiner is going to ask you, can you give some suggestions? So you're going to give suggestions as to what that person can do. So example, using a fire extinguisher, keep the passengers safe. Example, this is just a basic example. So that's your part 2C. This is where you had 3 recordings. So we have now 6 plus 4 plus 3. So that's totally 13 recordings done. And then we have final 3 more recordings. So these recordings, not recordings as such, but they are read out by your examiner. They are RT communications read out by examiner. So what you just need to do is to read that back clearly and transparently. So this is your part 2. So we have part 1, which is an intro. Part 2 is all your recordings, a total of 16 recordings. And something that you need to keep in mind is in part 2, if these recordings are from various languages, foreign languages being played. So if at all you do not comprehend it properly, you can ask them to repeat it. But make sure you do not repeat a recording more than 2 to 3 times, which is a very negative marking for you. Moving on to part 3, which is a picture study. So they give you a picture which you need to explain. That picture could be anything, but it obviously would be related to aviation. So for example, let's say for an example, an aircraft is landing. So you need to explain that picture. So example, you could say that you could see an aircraft landing, you could say the type of the aircraft, color of the aircraft, the weather, whatever you can see in the picture, you need to explain. And then what the examiner is going to do is give you a second picture and tell you and ask you questions like, what is happening in picture B, what is different from A and B, similarities, differences, so on and so forth. So you will be comparing both the pictures and answering. That's your part 3. So you have 1, 2, 3 parts completed, and then after part 3, after the picture study, the examiner will ask you some basic aviation questions. I mean, to say very general, like, what do you think, how the aviation world is progressing, the industry, how is it doing, what about the new concepts, green fuel, anything like that. There would be a general talk where you will have a conversation with the examiner and try to speak. So this is basically your ELP exam, roughly 25 to 30 minutes. And what is the thing that you need to take into account? So your examiner and the 2 raters are judging you on 6 parameters. Your 6 parameters are fluency, comprehension, interaction, pronunciation, vocabulary, and structure. So yes, I'm sure you must be a little startled and worried as to, oh, these are the big parameters. Yes, they judge you on these parameters, and for each parameter a constructive scoring is done. So you're scored between 1 to 6 levels, and say for example, out of these 6 parameters, in all parameters you get a 5, and in one parameter you get a 4. So you will be given a level 4 as your total ELP score. And so basically is the lowest score achieved out of the 6 headings that I just read out. So now that you have understood that the scoring happens in this way, this is again a collective feedback from the raters and the examiner, which is finally given you as a score. So what you need to understand is, what are these levels all about? So what do they denote? So anywhere between level 1 to level 6 is the bandwidth as mentioned by the ICAO for your ELP rating. So if you get anything between 1 to 3, then you're definitely not fit for operations. If you get level 4, you're operational. And what does level 4 indicate? Level 4 indicates that this is valid for 3 years. What is this valid? The ELP score or the test is valid for 3 years. So after 3 years, you will have to take this test again. And if you get a level 5, it's valid for 6 years. And if you get a level 6, it's valid for life. So this is what the band of ICAO stands for your ELP test. So you need to keep in mind to make sure you get a good score so that it is easy for your journey as a pilot. And now you guys are going to ask me, is this required? Yes, this is a mandatory requirement for you to even for it to get endorsed on your license. And also when you go for the airline recruitments, everybody is usually asking you a minimum of level 4 or a level 5 for operations. So make sure that is taken care. I think most of the international airlines, some of the international airlines ask for level 5. So that's with regards to ELP. So with regards to the doubts that are arising because of this new circular which came in a couple of years back for your ELP test, here are some things that you need to know. These are very important points so that you know if you need to go for a test or not. So first and foremost, for those of you who already have an ELP test or ELP endorsed on your license, what do you need to do now? You just need to go and take a fresh test if it's expired and renew your ELP score. Point number 1. Point number 2, for those of you who have come from abroad for your with a foreign license and are looking to convert the license, the circular says that if you have a foreign license and you're looking to convert your license here, then they check if you then you get a level 4 directly without doing an ELP test. That's when your DGCA license is issued. However, this is a very important point you need to note, that if your license issued in a foreign country is 3 years older from the date that you're applying for your license, which means, for example, let's say for today's date, it's let's just take October 1st as an example, and 2021, and if your license was issued 3 years ago in a foreign country, let's say 2018, but it's crossed 3 years of issue, and now you're trying to do your conversion, then your level 4 cannot be endorsed on your license. So now what you need to do is very important. So you need to make sure that you have to undergo your ELP test here before the 3 years. Is that simple? If you haven't, if you take up the ELP endorsement here in India after your license has become 3 years older from the issue date, then what you need to do is you need to undergo a 30 hours mandatory training program by the institution that is offering the program. So like I told you, the 3 institutes that are offering, but please keep in mind that these are very, very important. So if you have to take the 30 hours class, it's going to be English classes, and the classes vary like around 3 hours of classes, 10 days, and then that's where the 30 hours mandatory requirement comes up. And these are generally now conducted on a Zoom session or an online model, and at times even the DGCA the registered representatives also make sure that they come in and check if the course is going on well. So you need to complete the 30 hours mandatory course and then attempt for your ELP test. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. So make sure that your 3 years license validity is kept in mind. And for those of you who have a foreign ELP validity, then it can be then you can just go for a test directly and renew it. So these are your major doubts that people are having when they go for conversion. So please keep this in mind for your ELP as well. And it's now very important that because there are only 3 organizations that are giving you your ELP test. And if you are a person who is just into general, or rather just completing a CPL and not in the airlines yet, or working with an organization, then most of them are opting to go towards with Aviacons or with Flight Tech. So just make sure that you guys have the appointments taken. All right, so this is what you need to know. And now you're going to ask me, what is the fees like, or the test cost? So the cost is depending from these organizations to organizations. So the last few months back when I inquired, it was around 40,000 rupees for the entire course, which is 30 hours of training course and then your test. So that was inclusive. It should be around that. And if you're just taking the ELP test, is around 15,000, I think, with GST. So you need to check with your institute before you book your slot. And after you book your slot, then they have a small paperwork this has to be done on person. So this is not online based. You need to go to Hyderabad and get the test done right in front of the examiner, and then the examiner will give you the ELP score. So this is in general about what ELP stands for and where you can do the test, what the scoring is. What you guys need to just know as my point of view, or giving a suggestion, is just be confident. Make sure you speak a lot and speak fluently, and think about it, what you're speaking. Have a lot of content So go over topics which you can speak confidently, and do not get worried if you're worried about some very technical topic, or they are not judging you on the technicals. They're rather judging you on how you're framing your sentences and how well you're speaking. So the more fluent you are, the better, and how well you follow the 6 parameters like I read out last time. So do not worry, this is a test which you can ace it and do well. Good luck with those of you attempting the test, and I will leave all the details of the institutions in my description. If you like the video till here, and if you've seen and call this a valid content, or rather something that's helping you in your journey as a pilot, make sure to subscribe down below, hit the subscribe button, like our video, and if you have any queries with regards to ELP, leave that in the comments down below. We will definitely look to answer them, and you can always connect to us on our social media, where we will help you out with all your doubts and queries. I hope you're all guys are doing well, and those of you flying, I hope you guys are enjoying your flight training. And for all the others who are waiting patiently, stick along. We have some blue skies coming soon.